Hello everyone. In this video, I wanted to go over the very first authentication lab in PortSwigger. Username enumeration via different responses. So the description says that it's vulnerable to username enumeration and password brute force attacks, has an account with a predictable username and password. It provides a couple of lists that you can use, and to solve the lab, enumerate a valid username, brute force the user's password, and then access their account page. So let's spin up this lab. So odds are that we're going to be looking into this My Account link to start off. So here we have a login form, and we can put in a username, we can put in a password, my username, my password. We want to go back over to Burp Proxy, and we're gonna hit this intercept off button here. So now intercept is on. So any traffic that is sent through the browser in that profile through Foxy Proxy is going to be funneled through here before it goes anywhere else. And now we'll go back over to our browser window and let's go ahead and send this. And if we look closely, we can see that this tab right here is just spinning. We're just waiting for our response, which would essentially get us to log in if we had the correct information here. The request has been caught by Burp Suite right here. So we see this academy.net/login, and we see this request here in text. We have my username and my password. So these are the parameters that we're going to be sending through it. Right click and we're going to send it to repeater. If we say forward, it's going to forward that request. If we go back to our browser, then we see we have an invalid username error message that pops up. Notice specifically that it says invalid username. We know that it's checking the username specifically before it does anything else. So that's pretty key to what we're about to do. Let's go back to Burp. Let's turn intercept off. And when we go back to our repeater tab, we can see that request that we intercepted before. It still has those parameters in there. Now, the wonderful thing about repeater is that you can modify anything in here and send it and get a response back. So if we were to say send, we get back a 200 OK. But if we scroll down, invalid username. This is what we look at as a error message that we want to kind of keep track of. Let's try a bunch of requests. Let's send this request to intruder. Focus on this username parameter right here. Let's add positions. These little symbols right here are going to wrap what you want to use as your placeholder for a payload. So sniper attack, this is going to be inserting each payload into each position one at a time using a single payload set. On the right, we have this payload side panel. So under payload type, we have simple list and we have a bunch of other ones. For now, we're just going to use the simple list. We're going to go down to payload configuration. Burp Suite was nice enough to provide us with a username list that we can use for this specifically right here at the top. So candidate usernames, open that up. We're going to copy all of this stuff out. And if we hit this paste button here, it'll paste all of those usernames that we just copied. Okay, so now we have our list of usernames and we have our position set. Modify the setting. So if we go back over to repeater, we know that invalid username is given to us when we submit a wrong username. So we're going to look for a difference in the response based on this text right here. So we're going to copy invalid username, and we're going to go over to intruder, go to settings, and if you scroll down, there's this grep match. And what this does is it's used to flag result items containing specified expressions. Clear this, and yes, and we're going to say flag responses matching these expressions. We're going to paste in what we saw as an error message for that request that we just submitted. So we're going to say add, and we should be good to go. Okay, so when we hit start, we can see that it's starting to guess all of these different usernames, right? So we see right here that we have invalid username as a field. We can actually sort by that. It has 100 usernames to go, so we can just wait on a response that does not have that in it. Okay, now we can see that there is no one right here in this alter wind request. So let's go ahead and pause. Now, if we go over here, we can see that there is no invalid username in the response. So let's stretch this up like this, scroll down, and see if we can find the error message. Okay, so we can see that it now says incorrect password, which means that it did the username check. It said, hey, this username is valid, but the password is wrong. So incorrect password, which means that we have enumerated a valid username. So we know that one of the usernames is Alterwind. Let's see if we can go ahead and enumerate a password out of this. So let's copy Alterwind. Let's reconfigure. So let's clear our positions, clear all. And we can go over to my username and we'll put in Alterwind. Now for password, we don't know what the password is. So let's do the same thing that we did for the username with the password. So let's add this character, payloads. Let's clear out our payload configuration. And let's go back over to PortSwigger. And they are nice enough to give us a password list as well. Let's copy that out, paste it into Burp Suite. Okay, so now we have a password list. We have a simple list for our payload type. We have a sniper attack, and we are wrapped around the password parameter. Okay, so now we are looking for something that doesn't say incorrect password. Let's copy this out. And let's look for that in our responses. So if we go over to settings and down to grep match, let's go ahead and remove invalid username. And now we're going to be looking for incorrect password. So each one of these responses should have incorrect password in them. And so the one that does not would be the correct password. So let's go ahead and start the attack. And let's move this back up so that we can see it as it moves along. And we have this incorrect password heading here. When we do not see a 1, that is going to be the request that will give us our password. And looks like we actually already got it. So let's pause. And it looks like the password is Mustang. If we go over to our lab, alter wins, and Mustang. And there we have it. I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.